Hi and welcome to April 2025 Patreon rewards video. So let's get started. Let's start with this month's postcard, which here it is. I just got finished doing it a couple of a few hours ago. I like the way it turned out. This time around, I did do an underdrawing. I didn't go straight to ink. I did do an underdrawing because it was a little bit more complicated. Even though I was using reference, I just didn't have the confidence to do something this complicated. So here, the the patron that won this postcard is George. So George, you've been one of my patrons for years and years. So here's yet another postcard that you were able to win. So congratulations, George. So yeah, I went through this, and you can sort of see some of the pencil lines still in here, but I did do a recording of the process, and again, it's super shaky cam, and when I upload the video, you'll see. I'll tell you why it's shaky cam, and I'll show you why all the things. But yeah, this was a fun one though. I did really enjoy myself doing this. Okay. This month I actually did do quite a few things. So here is one of the sketches for this month. So I was doing the Cowboy Grim Reaper, and I decided to figure out what the Reaper's clothes would be. So it's Victorian. So he's got that Victorian cape. You know, the one. It just seemed like it fit because of the whole robe Grim Reaper thing. So he's got a regular cowboy outfit underneath, but he's got that Victorian cape that's kind of layered. And I thought that worked. And then there's a scarf that he just wraps around his head. And this is his staff, his Reaper, his scythe, but it's not really a scythe, obviously. It's based off of a Byzantine cross. I always thought the Byzantine crosses were really fancy, so I just gave him a Byzantine cross. So I wanted to give him like a specific look. And so I'm really happy with the way that came out. And then I came up with a little short story in my head, and then I really quickly just kind of sketched out the thumbnail of the story. So I may do a little 5-panel comic with the Reaper sometime. I don't know how or when or how I'm going to do it, but here's the story right here, and I kind of worked it out in thumbnail, and I'm going to probably end up doing it. And then, oh, here's a different version of the story, like an alternate, some alternate shots. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, this is a completely different one. This is a totally different story. I came up with another, this one's 7 panels. Yeah, so it's this one is he just shows up and shoots a zombie and then walks out. That's all really what it is. And then not shoots it, but he does the thing with his staff, and then this one, it takes place in the little Catholic chapel in the Old West, and the priest is doing communion, and then he shows up and he takes communion, and it freaks everybody out. I just thought it'd be funny. Like I don't know, because here's some sketches of him some more. I just like the way this guy looks. Like there's something about it. him just being like, just having a skull face, but being a cowboy. I like, like the Western stuff. I just like that stuff. Okay, what the hell is this? This right here, I felt like sketching something and I didn't know what to sketch. And I watched a video where somebody was like, if you do this, you'll always have something to sketch. So I was like, okay, let's see what this guy says. If you do the scribble, then you could just make something out of the scribble. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do that. Let's see what happens. And both times I came up with a lame looking dog. And I was just like, okay, is this like, do I like doing the scribble stuff? I don't know. Maybe it'll be fun to do it again. But I came up with these dogs. Was it worth it? Was it worth my time? I don't know. This was more fun. Way more fun doing the Grim Reaper. And so I've been just playing around with doing the... And I think in a previous video I talked about this too. It's just like I just the illuminated script, the illuminated drawing, the illuminated art in manuscripts. The medieval manuscripts, they had the illuminated art, and then all around the illuminated art, like there's like a figure with a fancy letter, and then there's people around it, but then there's like the rest of the thing is just foliage, like just plants, plant patterns and things like that. So I was like, okay, how do you do this? How do you do these plant patterns? Because I'm really interested in just kind of doing something like that. So I'm practicing the plant patterns and so I have a book that has some of that kind of margin art, so I could take a look at it. So that's just me doing that on that, and then this is me doing it on this sheet. Just going nuts. I saw somebody doing something like this, and this was before I kind of was practicing this stuff. So it didn't quite turn out, but and then I did this sketch, and then I started going and started just practicing the vines, and I just kind of try to fill up the page as if, okay, if this was it, what would I do if I filled it up? And it was just a stream of consciousness, just trying to create these vine patterns all over, using patterns that like the types of things that I saw in the Illuminated manuscript book that I have with examples of the stuff. So this is the kind of thing that I was thinking. So it's just me kind of just filling up the page with foliage, with plants. So we'll see. I think I started feeling more comfortable as I went, and I wasn't trying to be precious with it. I just wanted to see where it went and what I could do with it, and can I fill this page with, and so that sort of thing. So that's what this exercise was. Here is the other sketch that I did in my small sketchbook of the Cowboy Grim Reaper. I don't remember if this was drawn before or after I came up with his full costume. I think it was before, which led me to come up with, which led me to want to find out how he was dressed. I really like this sketch. I really like the way that is. And then I was just drawing like what he would look like on a horse. So that was that. I like this guy. Okay, and then this is the last drawing that I did this month. So again, this was a painting for my wife's world book for her characters. So this is Johnny. So this is the husband of Rachel, which is the blonde lady that I drew last month. Well, this is her husband. And I used uh, the image program. Let's see if I could bring it up. Here it is. Okay, so this is the after, this is the before. Before, after, before, after. So as you can see, so what I ended up doing, and the patrons that are silver level will get the PDF, so you could absolutely see everything I did. But I really, what I did was I kind of put a filter in the back to like just get rid of all that detail and just make it look just more brushy. But what I did here, I really just took this and then I broke it down as if I was if I was to have hand drawn it. I broke down all the shadow patterns. I actually like just literally went on over the image, and then I broke down the entire image in shadow patterns, like I would if I was doing this from just pure, if I was using the image as reference, and I just break down the shadow patterns like I do with everything. And so I broke down all the shadow patterns, and then I just applied a value to the shadow patterns, and then I started pulling out, like, so it was just like a repaint, just so that it could look like a hand-drawn painting. And the only way to make it look like a hand-drawn painting is to hand paint it. So I hand painted the image over the image that the generator gave me, and I fixed anything I didn't like this weird finger, like what the hell is going on, like all the the hands are always messed up, so I fixed the hand, of course, and I just made it like, if I was, what do I want to keep, what don't I want to keep, how can I stylize this, how can I make this not this, but let me just do let me make the final decisions on this thing, not have it be whatever. Like, so like I changed the glasses completely. I just did my own thing on them, like the whole thing. Like I just, the only way to make it look hand painted is to hand paint it. So I hand painted it. So yeah, otherwise I like the face, the proportions, all that, the look, and I recolored it. I added blush, I added blues and yellows, and so this was like the easiest one of the images left. Like I don't think I'm gonna have an easy one after that. Like now I really have to like put in a lot more effort. This one is a little bit more like more directly whatever the one of the images that the program gave me. I thought, okay, that's good, I'll just use that, and then I'll just recrop it and put it in such a way that I'll recompose it, because it was really badly composed. I moved the image over a lot, and then they gave me nothing over here, so I added this extra section here, and then I went over it. So the machine doesn't quite come up with good compositions. You always have to make some adjustments no matter what. And then on top of that, I went over and like I said, I repainted the whole thing by hand so that it felt like a human being did it, because a human being did the final. So okay, but moving forward, as I go along with these things, there's zero way that the program's going to give me anything that I could actually use on its own. It's just going to be more of me creating drawings that I want variations of for the machine to give me, so that I could then go back in and just grab all the elements separately that I will input. I want this, and I'll have to draw it, feed into the machine, have it kind of give me a render that I could then combine all those elements together into a and photo bash them all together, and then edit the entire photo bashed image in such a way. And by photo bashing, it's kind of like digital collage all the images together. And then I gotta just do all the work of making it all feel like it's all one thing, and repaint over it so that it's actually going to be a lot more. That you can't rely on the machine to give you anything. Like this is a thing that it's just not. It's not going to happen. It's an interesting tool. It's a helpful tool. People who think that it's going to just take over don't realize how much work it is. Like if you don't care and you have no vision, then yeah, whatever comes out is you're going to be like, that's great. But the problem also is that then every image will be homogenized. Every image will look the same. It's like when Pixar became popular, when it first started coming out, and CG animated movies started coming out, and then all the animated CG movies all had the same look. They were all homogenized. It's like, is this? Everybody thought that every animated movie was a Pixar movie because all animated CG movies look the same. And that's kind of what AI is. Images are. They're all going to look the same. Every image looks exactly the same. It's like the same artist did the same thing. It's going to all be very generic. Everything's going to look generic. There's not going to be anything special about any of the way that any of this stuff looks. And then even when you change the style, it still looks like there's going to be like 3 or 4 generic image looks. And that's just going to be the thing. Kind of, it's just like one image type is going to be the trend, and then it's all going to be like the same thing over and over throughout. And it's just going to be all homogenized. And there's going to be like 3 different tiers of the same homogenized styles, right? So, and it wasn't so like in CG animated movies, it wasn't until Spider-Verse and Arcane came out that you're like, okay, you could look how different Spider-Verse was, and everybody was just, their mind was blown. And then Arcane came out, and it also had a completely different look, and that everybody blew their minds. So suddenly, like, oh, you mean we can do things that don't look like everything else and not have the same yeah, but it requires a human being to make those choices. So that's really what's going to happen, like at least with visual arts. And part of the problem that I have with the AI, with these image generators, is that they're very good at making things look real. They're uncanny valley. That you can sort of tell that there's something off, right? So there is a little uncanny valley, but it's like they're super real. They're hyper detailed, and there are artists out there who that's what they like to do, but because the image generators can do that, it's like it's like photography. It's like the value of an artist is the fact that you can not have to stick to reality. You can go and push things and make things look unique and different and stylized, and give it a little something. And if you're just like a one-trick pony artist, you're in trouble, because a machine can be trained under the one style. But if you're like someone like Stuart Emmerman, who I think I've made a video about, you could do anything. You you don't stick to one style. You can just go and do whatever, and you're extremely versatile. There's no machine that can do that. So, yeah. So and on top of that, well, I'm not even going to get into iconography, but let's just say that when it comes to like sacred art and icons, like actual icons that are used in churches, ideally, especially in the Byzantine churches, the criteria is that it has to be drawn by a human being using natural inks or paints on a natural object. So anything that doesn't, and that's like, that was way before technology really took off. That was like they're trying to avoid even the chemical things like acrylics and stuff. So I mean, there's definitely, you're not going to get replaced by a machine when it comes to that. And some people think that maybe a robot hand painting on an actual canvas is going to be the thing. And it's like, well, how is that any different than a printer? Just because it's a robot hand doesn't mean that it's no different than So yeah, it's like if the tactility, the human touch, the fact that somebody actually made it by hand is the thing, right? Anyway, but useful tool. I'm not gonna disparage how useful it is. Thank you for being my patron. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. And I'm going to keep on practicing these things. I'm going to keep on making, I still want to make that this little comic strip. I don't know when it's going to happen, but thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye. So I'm happy to announce that I now have a new drawing lesson called Drafu Guide to Sketching and Gesture Foundations. It's the beginning of the level 2 information that people have been asking me for the drawing website, which will teach you where to start drawing, what to draw when you draw, how to draw from observation, how to draw from imagination, how to draw what you envision, and how to discover what you ought to envision if you don't have anything specific in mind. So if you find any of this interesting, you could follow the link that you see, or you can go to thedrawingwebsite.com, look under level 2, and you'll find a link there.